Dr. Ahmed Al-Garhi. He is UNAOC Youth Leader, the United Nations Alliance for Civilization Youth Leader. Hello, Dr. Ahmed, and thank you for being with us.
Hello, thank you.
Dr. Ahmed, the internet now is becoming a very important and essential part of the lives of all of us. Throughout chatting, throughout using the Facebook or the applications on our phones or our other devices, through out searching the internet to find any answer for our questions or to work or whatever. To what extent the usage of the internet is affecting our daily life activities?
Well, in fact, the internet as a concept has changed the world dramatically in the past few years, and especially after the introduction of the social media tools. Yes. This is actually one of the paradigm shifts of humanity in general. Today, let's focus on the social part, the family ties. In fact, there are always two sides of any coin, a positive one and a negative one.
Indeed.
Let's take the bright picture first. All the means of communication has been improved in the past decade to the extent that we now have the access to instant communication, and that was not available before. So actually, this is one of the things that helps people to get connected in general. Talking about the family ties, now family members they do have special traditions or trends, let's call them. For example, you can find a Facebook or a WhatsApp group that includes the family members. So today we will have this gathering. Today we're gonna do this.
So it can be sometimes used as a kind of approaching people together.
Exactly.
Not only getting them apart.
Exactly. So this is actually one of the good points that the social media in general, help in enriching the family ties. Also, the social media gives, especially for parents, a tool for, let's call, monitoring activities. For example.
Yes. How?
All family members now, they do have Facebook accounts, for example. So if the son or the daughter, they have Facebook accounts, their parents can be definitely friends for them, and they can
know more details about the activities of their kids.
Especially that the social media is very spontaneous. What comes into your mind, even look at it, what's in your mind.
Or the comment that you make, or the thing that you share, for example.
Exactly, so it tells you what's in your mind. So actually it becomes very spontaneous. When you see something, you just express. Actually there was, I saw one of the comics on Twitter. A guy wrote a tweet that his father started following him on Facebook, so that he ran away to Twitter. And surprisingly, his father shared his tweet, yes, telling him, and on Twitter as well. So this becomes as a tool for somehow monitoring the activities that
but sometimes, Dr. Ahmed, let me say it could be the opposite, that I could not monitor what my kids are doing because they are always on the internet, and I cannot monitor what they are doing exactly on the internet.
Actually, kids are always smarter.
Exactly.
So whatever you do as a parent, they will always find a way to escape. Exactly. So, however, they cannot escape for long, because their tricks you will find a way to know them. Exactly, and they will be revealed, and they will start thinking for other tricks and stuff like that. So, for example, kids, they sometimes make two accounts. One of them for the parents, where they put them, and they are convinced that this is their account, and definitely they have another real account, let's call it. But in general, it is a tool that was not available before for parents to monitor the behavior in general of their kids. Talking about the other side of the coin, actually the social media made gaps between many of the family members, because when you actually get to use the social media a lot, you get addicted. And by time, you get isolated from the people around you. And this goes to the outer circle, and you get isolated from the society.
So the social media or the internet could lead you to be a more isolated person, an antisocial person?
In
because
general,
you have your own life with your virtual life.
In general, yes. To the extent that teens in the United States of America, many of them now go to psychiatrists because they have Facebook syndrome. It is now scientifically called the Facebook syndrome.
Only Facebook, because we can find also the WhatsApp syndrome, because I find many of my friends, many of the kids of my friends are always on WhatsApp, they are always on Facebook, they do not socialize with each other, they do not socialize with their families, even if they are in an outing. So.
Exactly. Until this moment, Facebook is the biggest social network.
Indeed.
However, there is definitely competition coming from other social media platforms. Actually, the recent trend is now, this booming trend, especially amongst teens, is now Instagram. And is going to bypass Facebook in the near future.
But it's only photos, Dr. Ahmed.
For the time being, you can also use videos on it, and if you actually look at the content shared on Facebook, it is mainly media, photos and videos, and this is actually what Instagram does. So so that's why it will take a big portion of the market share of Facebook. So this isolation is unfortunately the biggest, let's say, negative point of using the social media, to the extent that if you nowadays look at family gatherings, you will find something very weird. People gather and to stay isolated. Each one of them is working
not only
on his,
family gatherings,
smart device.
Friends gathering, and you sit in a restaurant or in a coffee shop, and you find each one is just looking in his phone or her phone. They are chatting, or they are opening the Facebook, and they are sitting together. So it's a kind of total isolation. You are sitting with your friend, supposedly, but in real life you are chatting, or you are in your social media life. So how can we get rid of this bad habit? From my point of view, it's a very big alarm.
It is disaster, in fact. Actually, people nowadays, they think of the virtual words more than they think of the real actual word. So, for example, one of the restaurants in the or the cafes in the United States of America, they did something very interesting, and this has started as a trend as well.
Yes.
We do not have Wi-Fi. The usage of smart devices are not allowed. Just socialize.
We
with
want
your,
the 90s and 80s style of outings.
Yes. This is actually what they do. In fact, if you look at any event, not just the social gatherings, you will find people focusing on the digital part, not the actual part. Like, for example, if you are in an event, look at people, you'll find them, a concert, for example. Nobody's actually enjoying the music. They are trying to make
they are making photos and videos.
Yeah, so they make a video of something to watch it later on while they're actually in the place. And this is actually something that I personally cannot understand. Why do people do so?
I always see this scene, by the way.
Exactly. I saw a picture a few days ago. There were many people at a concert, and everybody of them spontaneously was taking a video of the concert, and there was an old lady. She was just like standing, just enjoying. And the comments was actually very brilliant. It was written.
She's the only one enjoying.
Yeah, somebody quote enjoying the real world.
Yeah.
And
so we are enjoying our technological and smart devices, unfortunately.
Actually, social media in Egypt in particular started as a means of communication. Then it became a social status. So if you have a Facebook account, that means you have a high social status. Now everybody started using Facebook. Now let's go to Instagram. Now if you have an Instagram account, that means that you are in a better place in this country. So actually, people think of it as a place to show off, and that's why they focus on the digital world, not the actual one. However, getting back to the positive points, when family members are already isolated, one of them or more are traveling abroad.
It's a good chance to use one of the applications to get connected, like Skype or Viber or whatever.
Exactly. So again, this gets people to reconnect. So now you can see the person, you can talk to him, you can chat with him, you can do that with all the family members at a time. So these are all facilities that helps people actually to get into the bond. But the problem comes when they already know that we can have access to each other's. They neglect it, and to the extent, as you said, while people are sitting together, they are not actually sitting together. They are enjoying their time with their smart devices.
Indeed. Dr. Ahmed, we go now to watch this report by Samah al-Sharif about the internet and how it is affecting our daily life activities and our daily life relationships, and we'll get back to continue our interview with Dr. Ahmed al-Garhi.
The internet is becoming more and more important for nearly everybody, as it is one of the newest and most forward-looking media and surely the medium of the future. It has its good and bad impacts on our social behavior and what the future will look like. Surveys show that too much TV watching and internet use may not just turn children into couch potatoes, it may also make them crave junk food and have trouble sleeping. We are now hearing about video game and internet addictions and the like. On the other hand, opponents to the notion that internet is killing family life say it is wrong to point the finger at technology. They say the web is not killing family life, if anything, it's saving it. They say that in an increasingly transient world, where the need to make a living has given rise to mass migration to urban centers in every country, children are separated from parents, siblings from one another, and the web has provided the devices that make it easy to stay in touch. Proponents of this camp say researchers who've been studying the family from the days before the web had already described how family life was weakening because of the rise of individualism. Divorce was already on the increase before email, instant messaging, and Facebook. Families were even eating fewer meals than together. So, whether the internet is negatively affecting family life or offering the best that can be won in a fast-moving and demanding world is an ongoing debate.
And welcome back. We continue our interview with Dr. Ahmed al-Garhi about the internet and how it is affecting our daily life activities. Dr. Ahmed, as we heard in the report, they believe that actually the internet and the social media are killing the family life, or they are helping and saving the family lives, which is a dilemma, as you have kindly mentioned before going to watch the report.
It's a yes and a no.
Yes.
At the same time. It is a tool, like any tool in the world. If you have a knife, you can use it in a good way or in a bad way.
But how do you read the rise of the internet addiction? What led to this?
I believe personally that one of the most important reasons for the addiction of the virtual life is that people found the virtual life the arena to express and to get impressions that they have always been looking for, that they could not make on the real life. So, for example, people to put a profile picture, for example, they exert a lot of efforts to get this picture as perfect as they wish, and they enjoy getting the comments and the likes and stuff like that, while in fact or in actual world they are not that perfect. So this is one of the things that draws the picture of the virtual person versus his actual personality or picture. So online, people pay attention when they write something. This thing that they write is revised more than once, and they check it and they read it over and over again to make sure that it gives a certain impression. In reality, when they talk, they are not definitely like this, because they become much more spontaneous. So what comes out of the mouth cannot actually be put back. So the virtual life gives them the space to work enough to have or to draw a picture that they have always been dreaming of, while they could not make that on the actual life. So when online, when they get the appreciation that they've been looking for, while they do not, or they cannot get it offline, so they get online more and more. And this makes the gap between the online and the offline huge, because they prefer now the online life versus the offline one.
To what extent many people, Dr. Ahmed, could be if they are a certain kind of lonely or antisocial, they could find their salvation in the social media?
Exactly. This is the thing. What they cannot make offline, they are able to make online, so they are satisfied. So in the end, they just say, online or offline, the most important thing is that I'm
reached my
satisfied.
goal, I'm fulfilled, I'm happy.
Exactly.
To what extent we find common things between the virtual reality, which I am on the Facebook, for example. I may have thousands of friends, and I'm an active person on Facebook. I chat, I write comments, I share stuff. And on the reality, I'm a different person. To what extent we can find a link here between the two personalities, the real one and the virtual one?
Actually, those who reflect the real personalities on the social media, they are not the best, but at least they know themselves. While others who know that this is not me, these people are in trouble. I believe personally, because when you get to believe that that what you have online is reality, this is a problem. It is like when you lie and you believe the lie. This becomes a real problem. So for people who show their real personality online, for me, these are the most respectful people on the virtual world.
Yes. What about the addiction for many kids and males for the video games and other stuff like this?
Well, actually, video games started earlier than the social media.
And it was before that the Atari and long time
Nintendo and all these things. Actually, the social media is just like the evolution of that. So instead of doing that on a separate device, you do that on a smart device.
But sometimes now many kids are doing both. So it's a deep problem, because they are chatting, they are on Facebook, they are on Instagram, and they are having these games, and it's a big mess.
In fact, I do totally believe that parents should definitely control how many hours do their children do online activities, and parents themselves and all of us, we should actually monitor that. In most of the smart devices, you have statistics of the battery usage of the applications used. I started personally recently following that to check how many, what is the percentage of time that I spend on social media, and trying to contain that and to control it. Otherwise, you will definitely turn into an addicted, addicted person to that. However, on the other side, the internet itself and the social media in particular, they become a huge source of income for many industries and for many people. So nowadays, you can work as a social media specialist or a search engine optimization specialist, or any of the job descriptions that are related to marketing online and e-commerce in general. There are actually many business models that solely and entirely are based on the virtual world, and they are extremely successful. Even social media companies themselves, they are companies in the end, like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. And personally, I do encourage people to learn how to make money out of the internet. Now people can very easily produce content, videos or audios or photos, and they can use it online, and there are many ways to make money out of that. And talking about the social media applications themselves, I do believe that the more you use an application like LinkedIn, for example, that means that you are efficiently using the social media, because on such professional applications, you can actually find jobs, you can network with other people who share the same professional interests with you. Personally, I had many work opportunities via LinkedIn, exactly, either part-time or freelance or even full-time jobs via LinkedIn. And there are actually other applications that started their evolution focusing on the business side of the social media. So I think people need to start use the social media wisely and efficiently. Wisely by controlling the usage. Exactly, the usage and the time that they spend on it, and efficiently via using it in a way that makes them have much more knowledge, much more exposure to other cultures.
Not
and
just a waste of time.
Exactly, and as well making money out of it.
Why so many people who are addicted to the social media and to the internet are suffering from sleeping disorders?
In fact, people now, when we get to sleep, we do not sleep on the comfortable side. We sleep on the charger side.
It's true.
The first people do when they wake up in the morning, the first thing is that they check their cell phones. What happened? What happened when you were asleep? Unfortunately, nothing. So people started actually having sleeping disorders because there is a physical or medical reason behind that, which is the radiation coming out of the devices. There are many studies that talk about the negative impact of that on the function of the
brain,
of the brain, exactly, and that it sends extra charges to the brain, and this is one of the direct reasons behind the sleeping disorders. Plus, getting engaged too much with
of course, your brain is functioning, so it's difficult to calm it down easily. Again and sleep calmly. Dr. Ahmed Al-Garhi, the UNAOC Youth Leader, United Nations Alliance of Civilization Youth Leader, thank you very much for being our guest for today.
My pleasure.
And with that, our dear viewers, we come to the end of this edition.